Welcome to another tutorial of ProfLearn YouTube channel. In this particular video, we're going to have a discussion how to work out series questions whereby you are given a question like this. If you are new to ProfLearn YouTube channel, consider subscribing so that anytime I'm going to upload further tutorials, you'll be notified. Now, we are told that show that summation of r from 1 all the way to n is given by 5r minus 3 is equals to n over 2 into 5n minus 1. Whenever you are given an expression like this one, you need to understand that this part that we have here, this represents the nth term. This is the nth term. That's what you need to remember, that point. And whatever we are having at this point, this is the common difference of an arithmetic series. So, in order to prove this, we shall now find what is our first term. In this case, our first term A is going to be equals to, when n is 1, so we're going to say this is going to be 5 into 1 minus 3, and that is going to be 5 minus 3 is equals to 2. So our common difference for this series is 5, and our first term is actually 2. So that is the first thing that we need to identify for us to proceed and work out this question. Now, in order to prove this, we're going to say summation of 5r minus 3 from r equals to 1 all the way to n is going to be given by the sum of arithmetic series. Sum of the arithmetic series is usually given by n over 2 into bracket 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So we are going to take this and then say, now because this is an arithmetic series, we are going to say is equal to that. But we have identified that our common difference is 5 and the first term is 2. And then we're going to say now this is 2 n over 2 into bracket 2 times the first term, which is 2, plus n minus 1 into the common difference, which is 5. So this is going to reduce to n over 2 into bracket 4 plus 5n minus 5. And of course, this is going to translate what? This is going to translate to n over 2 into bracket 4 minus 5. That will be negative 1. So we shall have 5n minus 1. And that is exactly what we are having at this point. So the first thing you need to identify that this expression that we have here represent the nth term. This is the nth term. And this 5 that you have here represent the common difference. Then now you can be able to say that expression you are told to show is equal to the sum of n terms in the arithmetic series, because sum of n terms in AP is n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. You remember that formula, right? So that's the relation that we used. Then we are told hence or otherwise evaluate this. We are evaluating from r equals to that 1 up to 60. So to evaluate that, we're going to say summation from r is equal to from that 1 all the way to 60 for the summation of r minus 1 minus 1 minus 3 minus 3. This is the same as evaluating from r equals to 1 all the way to 60, 5r minus 3 minus evaluating from r is equals to 30 all the way to from 1 all the way to 30. So if we are evaluating from 31 to 60, summation from 31 to 60 is the same as 1 to 60, then subtract 1 to 30. Just a number before 31. So this is going to be 5r minus what? Minus 3. And to work out that, remember, summation r equals 1 to n is usually n over 2, 5n minus 1. So in this part, if we want to work out what this is equivalent to, we are going to take our n is 60, because from 1 to 60, from 1 to n, our n now in the first part here is 60. Then we are going to say this is 60 over 2 into bracket 5 times 60 minus 1. 5 times 60 minus 1. Then minus, the second one is from 1 to 30. Our n now becomes 30. So we shall say 30 over 2 into brackets 5 times 30 minus 1, like that. So if we simplify this, what are we going to get? If we try to simplify this, what are we going to get as our answer in this case? We are going to say that this becomes 30 into bracket 300 minus 1, that's 299, minus this becomes 15 into this is 150, becomes 149. So if we can be able to work out that, let's see if we put it in our calculator. In the first place is 30 times 299, that gives us 8970. 8970 minus, the next one is 15 times 149, which is 2235. 2235, and when you subtract the 2, we get our answer as 6735. 6735 as our final answer for this case. The next part that now we have here is to evaluate this. Given that summation from r equals to 1 to n of 5r minus 3 is equals to 3783, how can we be able to find the value of n? How can we be able to find the value of n? If you're new to Proflan YouTube channel, consider subscribing so that anytime we are going to upload a tutorial, you'll be notified. So in this case, already we know that summation from 1 to n is given by n over 2 into 5n minus 1. We have already shown that at this given point. Now, for us to evaluate the value of n in this case, we are trying to find what's the value of n for which we shall have our answer equivalent to 3783. We are trying to evaluate what is the answer for which our answer, when you substitute, you get 3783. So first we're going to multiply by 2. You multiply by 2 in this case, then we're going to have n into 5n minus 1, and that is going to be equivalent to this, going to be 6, this is going to be 6 carry 1, this is going to be 14, 5 carry 1, 6, and that is 7566. Once we have done this, we're going to open the bracket here, and then this is going to become 5n squared minus n minus 7566 is equals to 0, which means that we can now solve this, solving the quadratic, we shall have what? Our n is going to translate to, if we work out this using our calculator, our n is going to be equivalent to 39, or n is equals to negative 194 over 5. Then n cannot be equal because that is n must be an integer. So our value of n in this case should be that. And I believe we can be able to prove that using our calculator. To solve this, that will be the coefficient is 5, is negative 1 and negative 7566. And then our answer will be 39, or our answer is negative 194 over 5. So we are going to pick our correct answer of n to be this. We are told that show that the sum of 5r minus 1 from r equals to 1 to n is given by n over 2 into 3 plus 5n. Now, something I told you from the previous video is that this part that we have here represents the nth term. That's something that you need to remember. This represents the nth term, and this number that you have here represents the common difference. So, for you to start working out this question, you need to identify that the nth term is 5r minus 1, and the common difference d is actually 5 there. And then we are going to find what is the first term. The first term will be when n is equals to 1. That will be the first term. So if you are having the nth term as 5r minus 1, and then the first term will be where r equals to 1, then if we write it here 5 into 1 minus 1, we're going to get our answer equivalent to 4. So meaning that our first term in this series is actually 4. Then if we want to show that, this one is equivalent to this, then we're going to say now that this is a summation from r equals to 1 all the way to n, and that is 5r minus 1, then must be equals to. This is an arithmetic series, so meaning that we know sum of n terms for AP is 1 over n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d, and then we can be able now to write this part here at this point, n over 2 into bracket 2a plus n minus 1 into d, like that. And then once we have identified that, we can be able to substitute what's our common difference, what's our first term, and that is going to be n over 2 into bracket 2 times 4, then plus n minus 1 into common difference, which is 5, which is going to translate what? Which is going to translate to n over 2 into bracket 8 plus 5n minus 5. And of course, you can see that it's going to be n over 2 into bracket 8 minus 5 will be 3 plus 5n. Now, we have proven that indeed summation of 5r minus 1 from r equals to 1 to n is given by this expression. Then the next part, we are supposed to evaluate this right from summation of 5r minus 1 from 10 all the way to 20. How are we going to go about that? So to evaluate that, this is something we're going to do. Then we are going to say evaluating from 10 all the way to 20, and that is our 5r minus 1, is the same as evaluating from r equals to 1 all the way to 20, 1 all the way to 20 of 5r minus 1, right? then we shall subtract, evaluating it from r equals to 1 all the way to 9, just a number before this 10. If you are told yes, so this is going to be 5r minus 1, or like that. Then now we are going to substitute this with what? Evaluating from 1 to n is equivalent to this, right? So our n in the first case here, our n here is 20. So we're going to say 20 over 2, and this is 3 plus 5n. So this will be 3 plus 5 times 20, because our n is that. Then subtract r1 to 9. Our n in this case is 9, so we're going to substitute there. So we're going to say 9 over 2 into bracket 3 plus 5 times 9, and of course now we can be able to simplify that. I would like to make use of more of this space that I have, right? Okay, much of the space, I need some space here so I can be able to erase and make use of that space here. So if I evaluate this, this becomes 10, and this becomes 103. So this becomes 10 times 103. I will subtract, this becomes 4.5, but this 45 plus 3, that is 48. 48 divided by 2, that is 24. So it will be 9 times 24. So I can be able to put that in the calculator so that I can be able to get what the answer is. 1030, 10 1030 minus 9 times 24, and that translates to 814 as a final answer in that case. 814. So then this is our answer is 814 at that point. Now the sum of the first n terms of the AP is n. Sum of n terms of the AP is Sn, where Sn is given by the expression that we were given, and the nth term of the series is UR. So meaning this is the sum of the first n terms, sum of the first n terms, and the sum of the first n terms was given by the expression. This was the expression that was representing sum of n terms, and then UR is the nth term. So we are supposed to find the value of n in that case. So let me just erase this so that we can be able to see what that is gonna become. So if we are saying the sum of n terms, and the sum of n terms is going to be represented by, because if we are saying that Sn is equals to 12 URn plus 1, yeah, UN plus 1, yeah, then plus 52, plus 52. So how are we going to go about this question here? Now, sum of n terms is represented by this expression. Already it was given. Then we're going to say n over 2 into bracket 3 plus 5n, that is the sum of n terms, is equals to, we said that if we are given is equals to, I believe that's the expression we were given originally, over 2 into 3 plus 5n. This expression that we have here represents nth term. That's what it represents, right? So I said that. So when we are going to write this term here, we are going to say 12 into bracket 12 into bracket 5. We have 5. Our R now becomes n plus 1 because we were told this is n plus 1. So instead of saying R, we are going to say n plus 1. Then minus 1, then plus 52. That is the expression that we are going to write. So if we multiply all two by 2, we end up having n into bracket 3 plus 5n is equals to 24 into bracket. This will be 5n, then 5 minus 1, that becomes plus 4 plus 1 of 4. Because if I multiply 2 all through, it's going to affect these numbers. Then we shall have 5n squared plus 3n, right? Plus 3n. And 5 times 24. Hey, 24 times 5 is going to be 120. 120n is equals to 120n. And this is going to be plus 96 plus 1 of 4. And then we are going to have 5n squared minus 117n minus 200 is equals to 0. Then now this equation we need to solve. We need to solve this quadratic equation so that we can be able to get what does this translate to. So let me just say here, solving the quadratic. Solving the quadratic. Let's see what it will translate to. This is 5 negative 117 negative 200, and the answer becomes 25 or negative 8 over 5. N is equals to 25 or n is equals to negative 8 over 5. There's no way this can be the answer, so our correct answer in this case is 25, and that is what we were supposed to get in this part. If you are new to Proflan YouTube channel, consider subscribing so that anytime we are going to upload another tutorial, you'll be notified. See you in the next video.